You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hi, Young and the Restless fans. I have got a few spoilers for you for next week. We've got Sharon Newman losing her temper and shouting out a death threat. And we also have Lily Winters exposing Damian Kane and dropping a huge bombshell about his secretive background. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we've got some juicy tidbits for the week of March 3rd on Y&R in advance of our full weekly spoilers video, which comes out as usual tomorrow. Let's get into this early look at next week, but be sure and click subscribe if you're not already following us. Let's get started with what Lily Winters is up to next week. Although she is still mad at Nikki Newman and Victor Newman for doing her dirty, Lily decided to leverage their guilt to get some information that she wants to protect the Winters family. That's why Lily told Victor if he got her info on Damian Kane, it would go a long way to wiping the slate clean between them. And boy, did Victor deliver. What's also interesting is that he doesn't just end things with getting this initial information and handing it to Lily. As we saw this past week, Victor assigned Michael Baldwin to dig deeper into Damian and his association with Aristotle Dumas, the elusive and possibly fictional billionaire from Washington, D.C., who reportedly owns the companies that Damian is now running. Lily is very worried that Damian is dodgy, and he even told her flat out that his presence in Amy and Nate's lives might be problematic for them. It was like Damian was trying to give Lily a subtle warning about himself and that he may be a less than ideal family member they want to think about before they embrace. So next week's Y&R spoilers indicate Lily gets more information on Damian and what's going on with his business and his meteoric rise to wealth and all this stuff. And Lily decides she can't keep it to herself any longer. So she gets together with Devon Hamilton and Nate Hastings and fills them in on the research she's been doing on Nate's half-brother. And Devon is going to ask Lily if there is more to Damian's story than they know. And she says, oh yeah, a lot more to it. There is definitely something dodgy going on with him. And especially after hearing on Friday's episode that there's a dangerous side to Damian's best friend, Holden Novak, there's obviously a bigger mystery about to unfold. You know, maybe we're going to find out more about how Damian and Holden met and, you know, what is Damian's reason for cautioning Lily about him not being the best person to be in Nate and Amy's lives. Next is a spoiler about Adam Newman and Billy Abbott with a side order of Chelsea Lawson in the mix. Adam and Chelsea are pretty much dating now and canoodling, although they tap the brakes on hitting the sheets together. Just an aside, I have to say, last week, Y&R gave out spoilers that were extremely misleading from their official, press conduit. One was that Adam and Chelsea gave in to temptation. And I'm sorry, 2 minutes of making out on the sofa is not giving in to temptation. There was another spoiler about Victor warning Nick about Sharon. That's really not how any of those scenes went down. And then there was another that said Audra sets boundaries with Holden, also wildly off the mark. All she did was ask him to step away while she had her private conversation with her friend Sally. Just very misleading stuff. So when I do the weekly spoilers video tomorrow, I'm going to be cautious about anything that seems too exciting and let you guys know, because I just don't trust them anymore. Maybe they've got AI writing spoilers or a really lazy intern or Josh Griffith, who, as we know, can't write anything very well. All right, back to what's happening next week. Adam and Chelsea are at Crimson Lights having coffee, and Billy Abbott drops by their table. We all know he's starting Abbott Communications, which is pretty much a competitor of both Chancellor Communications and Newman Media. Maybe Adam got wind of this because he asked Billy if he is about to officially launch an attack on him and Newman Media. Adam asked that in front of Chelsea, And I have no doubt Billy's going to deny it because he is lying and denying and telling everybody he is done with his vendetta against Victor and the other Newmans he dislikes. Still waiting to see who is Billy's mystery co-conspirator because he is very much still in the revenge game. But I'm going to guess he'll tell Adam that he's being paranoid and that the world does not revolve around him and Victor and the Newmans. And, you know, if Billy has moved on, as he said, then he's going to tell Adam to move on. But I doubt Billy's denials will convince Adam of anything. All right, now let's get to the spoiler I'm most excited about that has to do with Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman, who are still captive inside the psychiatric hospital next week. Although on Friday, they have this brief moment of peace where they agree to work together to get out of this mess. And, you know, they chat over coffee after they wake up cuddling on the couch, which of course creeps them out. And then things get inflammatory between them again. It's like they have a truce and it lasts 35 seconds. By next week, Phyllis is completely and totally unhinged, which is kind of a state of normalcy for her. She cannot take another moment of being in captivity with Sharon and playing these twisted riddles and games with this unseen person holding them captive. Apparently, there's a small window in the room they're being kept in, although it's up high and you can see sunlight through it. And just by the way, is there a toilet or just a bucket? I don't like to think about things like that, but ew. Anyway, Phyllis gets her hands on a metal folding chair and she decides she is going to break through the window and tells Sharon she's going to bash it and then scream as loud as she can until somebody comes to find them. And I mean, seems like a good plan to me, better than sitting there and waiting to see what happens, you know. But when Phyllis goes to break the glass, Sharon starts screaming and wrestling with her to try and get the folding chair away from her. Phyllis is trying to fight Sharon off with all she has. And that's when Sharon starts screaming the death threat, saying that if Phyllis keeps on doing what she's doing, she is going to get them both killed. Now, so far, they've been told that if they play the games their captive has set out for them, then they can get out of this alive. But Sharon seems convinced that Phyllis breaking the rules could cost them, and it could cost them their lives. And of course, Sharon is desperate to stop Phyllis. But as we know, anything that Sharon wants, Phyllis definitely does not want. And whoever is doing this to them, and again, Ian is alive, we'll see. There's other possible candidates. That's going to be another video. Keep watching for that. But somebody who knows them very well, knows what buttons to push to set them off on each other, and seems to have an intimate knowledge of a lot of the reasons for the drama between them. The ladies agreed on Friday. A lot of it centers around Nick, which I agree, but there is more to it than that. It's going to be a big week next week.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.